this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your daily horoscope and energy reading for August 18th. And guys, I have been playing outdoors. It is gorgeous here. It is really, really hot. I had to hike down this huge ravine to get here. I am at Eagle Creek still, and just trying to take you guys around the Northwest so that I can get some hiking in and some playing in the water while I have work to do, because I work 7 days a week, and so I'm trying to include you guys in my world. I'm glad that I'm here because when I did the reading for this day, I had a hard time with this energy, and so I think now that I'm in nature and in my element, I can get through this reading without absorbing too much energy. That you guys are going to have an incredibly tough morning into early afternoon. And I think the energies will start to taper off toward the evening, but I think it'll kind of set your day off in a really poor direction, and it'll be really hard for you guys to release some of what you went through early on in the day. Now, today you wake up with a question on your mind, and you have a yod in a majority part of the day until about noon, which is Pacific time. And I think what we're going to experience is, because the moon's going to go into Libra, we want to achieve some sort of balance in our daily routines, in our mental well-being, in our rituals, in our life. And with all of this Scorpio energy, it's very difficult to experience true balance when we have so many things asking us to move forward and progress and to ascend. And so balance becomes a truly difficult issue to really overcome. And so what's going to happen is a yod starts to happen. And I think that you're sick of the volatility. I think that you're sick in the insecurity. I think you're sick of Saturn. I think you're sick of loss. I think you're sick of a lot of things. And you just remember a time when life was entirely easier and it didn't provide this ups and downs and turmoils. And I get so many questions from you saying, when is the energy going to end? And you know, I don't see it truly happening anytime soon. And the reason I say this is because, you know, these transits are in here to help twist and turn us and make us pliable and give us some variety in our lives to learn how to deal with and cope with. And through that variety, it tests our boundaries and our strengths and our limitations and all of that. And I think for some of you, there's just such a mental need for calm and no more roller coasters and, you know, no more serious issues of dealing with life. And I think that's why I've been pulled to go out in nature and go swimming so much and just get back to the basics. It's because, you know, I'm getting sick of it too. Ascension is very difficult. We are all experiencing ascension symptoms where we have a lot more anxiety. Maybe some of us aren't sleeping all that well. Maybe we have an unusual need to change our diet, and so our dietary requirements are making us more sluggish. And we're finding all of these ways that we're being twisted and turned and pulled. And I think that it is through that we are just experiencing just tons and tons of ascension symptoms. So I think what that does is then makes us want to act very ego-oriented and just say, to hell with it, I don't need to learn anymore, I'm done with the energies, and fight. The very next thing that we do is we tend to want to escape and run away from these energies. So at the very top of the yod is Neptune and Pisces wanting to escape. And then at the base of the yod is the moon in Libra and Mars in Leo. So Mars in Leo wants to break away, wants to have something more, wants to go and flourish and ascend, and it wants to be fed in your ego. And But you have this balancing energy that says, okay, yeah, we can feed you and we can take that all into consideration, but you know, I need some balance. So it can't be all, you know, this energy that makes us want to escape, and it can't be completely all balanced all the time, because it needs to be somewhat ego-oriented to move and ascend and move forward. But then we have this strong, very passionate position for Mars, which makes us get sick of it and makes us have very knee-jerk reactions. When this happens, it ignites the Sun in Leo and Venus in Leo trining Uranus and Aries. So that makes us very ego-based, ego-oriented. It makes us very overreactive. It makes us very rebellious. It makes us very wild and aggressive. And it just makes us not care what others think, because we are so busy struggling with what we've got going on. We don't have time to think about what everybody else has got going on. Like, we're in our own manifestation, and we are experiencing some of the worst extension symptoms that we've had in a while. And there is a tendency to want to lash out and just not ascend, not do anything, but just get through the day. So, if this happens, if you are one of the people that are falling into the lower vibrations of all of this energy, then you are experiencing Jupiter in Virgo, Quincunx in your South Node. So you're starting to fall back on old routines. You're starting to fall back on old patterns. You're starting to fall back on what's easy and works well for you, and you don't have to put very much effort in. I'm going to say that if that happens, you are going to get one hand slapping from the universe in a big way. And, you know, you're going to miss out on this insanely gorgeous sextile today, because we have a beautiful one. And the sextile suite is in your North Node, ascending. You're moving up, you're moving forward, you're overcoming energies, right? You're establishing new patterns, and you're taking your life up to the next level. But you can't do that if you are falling into previous past patterns, South Node wiring, right? If you're just saying, you know what, I don't feel good about my life right now, I'm going to go get drunk, or I'm going to go drink myself into oblivion, or I'm going to go get laid, because, you know, that stuff always makes me feel good immediately. It's an immediate relief, but how good is immediate, guys? How good is it when in another day or so you're going to fall right back into this energy? And I got to tell you, this is deep, dark energy. This is a dark day for some of you. This is a very, very hard morning, a very hard afternoon, and then by the evening, you guys are so freaking sick of the twisting and turning, and the energy is making you just kind of expanding you and contracting you and expanding, that you check out. And you really missed out on some forward movement in today. Saturn in Scorpio is going to square off with Mars in Virgo and Venus in Leo and your Sun in Leo. So again, to me, this suggests that it's just another, this day could drastically go one of two ways for multiple people. So when I feel this energy, I feel it going very motivating, very forward moving, very challenging, definitely challenging for all. It's a challenging day for all people, but there are some people that this energy won't beat down, won't make it succumb. You've got to understand, you are under fire. You're in a war with yourself. You are in a war to overcome past predisposed wiring and past issues, and you are in the ability, you are in the mode to want to progress and move forward and ascend. And the way that this is working for me, it's pulling me back into my past, where I'm passionate, nature, where I'm hiking, I'm getting my body back into shape hiking, I'm playing in the water, I'm receiving a revitalizing experience, not through to be through immediately going and running and getting a boyfriend and having my boyfriend tell me that I'm beautiful and I'm good and everything I'm doing is right, because that's the only way I knew how to feel good about myself. It's like I'm going out in nature and I'm going out in my job and I'm developing my channel, and it's becoming more and more authentic to me. It's not so much what YouTube or what is going to get me a like on YouTube. It's more what feeds me and the way that I want to do astrology or the way that I want to interpret energy. It's becoming more and more authentic. That's the way that it's working with me, but I'm also experiencing, and I'm not going to lie, very, very hardcore ascension symptoms. Chest pains, having a lot more anxiety than normal. I am challenging myself in areas that are very scary for me. I am very overwhelmed a lot. I am physically exhausted, but I can't sleep. And that is because I'm challenging myself in areas that fear used to overcome. And it's such a rush and such a high all day, and it's such an adrenaline area that, you know, I get to the point where in the day it's like, you know, I can't sleep because of the expansion that's going on inside me, the expanding of my routines, the expanding of my expectations of myself, the expanding of not wanting to stay stuck. And so that's very, very scary. And that's why I think there's so much energy that's quincunxing your south node. Jupiter is quincunxing your south node. And that is because when it doesn't want to expand your old wiring, it wants to expand your north node. So one big energy that I feel jumps to me every time I look at it, and I hate reading for it because it's really sucking the energy out of me. Mercury in Virgo is going to be quincunxing Uranus and Aries. And so, you know, Virgo-based energy just wants to take things slow. It's very analytical. It's very deliberate in all of its movements. It can be very critical and it can be petty, but for the most part, it wants to expand your need for your health consciousness. It wants to help you achieve your goals and set realistic goals, and then set up a process to help, to help achieve those goals. So you're thinking about a lot, and when we think about a lot of expectations, when we think about a lot of what we have to do, that can make us alone have extreme panic and anxiety attacks for that expectation of ourselves, or that expectations of others, or that expectation in work. And so sometimes we may tend to have a very difficult time dealing with the expectation. I know I do. That's when I experience the worst part of my ascension symptoms, is when I set expectation for myself, and then all of a sudden I start panicking, thinking, I'm not ready, I'm not strong enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough. I'll go through this list of fears of Saturn and Scorpio stuff and Pluto and Capricorn stuff, drudging up stuff inside of me, telling me I'm not good enough. And that's when I start to experience panic and anxiety, and I start to essentially want to bail, Neptune out, run away from it, go do what works for me, check out, turn off my computer, not answer my emails, not do the things that I need to do to ascend and progress in the areas that I'm told to. If I'm listening to spirit, I'm being pulled in these directions. And I am not saying I don't feel all this. When I talk like this and I read energy, I hate that some of it applies to me. I wish I was like so far ascended and I was so enlightened that the stuff never pertains to me, so that I guess the reason why the message is coming through me is because you need to hear it from somebody who's going through it themselves. opportunity, the fear of opportunity, the fear of change, the fear of expansion is sometimes actually scarier than staying stuck, staying in energies that are negative, and staying in relationships that are negative, and staying in situations that are negative. Again, you know, you get caught in being comfortable in chaos and comfortable in abuse of situations, and you get comfortable in staying in a dead-end job, because you know what? You know, at least that stuff pays your bills. At least you have a place to stay. At least you don't have to change your whole life. So I think you get rough mornings like this to make you it shakes you up enough in afternoons that you have to start thinking about some of this stuff. And so then Jupiter goes in and expands that. And even if it's something negative, today, even if it expands something completely, horribly negative in today, and maybe you do check out, maybe you Quincunx out, maybe you run away and go to your, you know, you run up in your yard and the top of your yard and you escape. But that's the energy is trying to get you to stop doing that. And the more that you see you do it, the more that you become aware of that's where you tend to go, the more that you understand where the energies are trying to get through to you. So it's a deep, heavy day. I am not going to lie to you, but I want to leave you with really two gorgeous sextiles. I like to leave with positive energy. They say that the last thing that you hear in a visit or anything like that, especially when I'm doing my patient visits, is you say something at the very end, and that's the last thing that people actually truly retain psychologically. You still have the North Node in Libra, so a great balancing energy. This energy wants to take all that panic and all that stress and all of those days, and it wants you to take a look at it logically, and it wants you to go, okay, that wasn't ideal. It didn't make me feel amazing, but come on, it's not that bad. Rationally take a look at it, remove a little emotion from it, and take a look at it. Because we also have a sextile with the moon in Libra, sextiling Mars in Leo. And also the North Node is going to be sextiling this. So again, this Libra energy is going to come in, it's going to weigh everything out, it's going to say, okay, I know that you want to jump off, you know, at the cliff and just do this extreme risk-taking, daredevil behavior to put some zest back in your life and make you feel like you have more power, personal power, than you do in your life. Maybe if you go out there and you do this self-destructive thing that you do, or you do a conquest over somebody or something, or maybe you fall back on a fear-based reaction and it gives you an immediate satisfaction, maybe that'll give you that gratification really instantly. But guys, I'm going to tell you this, it won't last long. And we're talking about, we want to take a look at energy that constantly is more balanced, that maintains. There's no really huge high, but there's no really direct low. Okay? So guys, that is your daily reading for Tuesday, and I'm sorry it's an intense one, but remember that we always have these days to help us really appreciate the really good days where we experience nothing but sextile. Thank you so much for tuning in to Annette's Astrology Corner, and I will